Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dustin, Berserker Bear. I have another edition of Bushwhacking Buffalo for you. Let's just get right into it. Today we're going to be a couple different places. Actually, we're going to start in South Buffalo at the, what I call the old Star Fort, South Buffalo, southern tip of Buffalo, if you will, and we're going to work. I went to a few different places actually, a couple different days, and we're going to put it all together. The other place interesting is I've done a video on it before. So there's no real research in this video. We're just going to go through all the places that I went to. Get you some cool pictures. Kensington Water Tower. See that? I went there again. And we're also going to be up here at Beaver Island State Park on Grand Island. So this is Grand Island right here. And there's a beautiful park in and amongst called Beaver Island. I go fishing a lot there. Matter of fact, I was right here yesterday, and we're going to get pictures for you. There's the southern tip. And we'll get beautiful pictures of Beaver Island. We'll go through these boards they have posted. Fishing. There goes Kensington. And we're going to go, there's the old Star Fort. There's Beaver. And we got some birds here. So let's go through that. We'll obviously, I'd like you guys to see where I get my stuff from. It's that simple. Of the lot I have to pull from are 3 from the city of Buffalo. This one says date 1888. Wow, it does have a date on it. This is interesting because if this is dated 1888, it's got the fairgrounds for the Pan Am on it. But we're not going to be, this one's not as detailed. It's got some interesting text on it, but as you can see, it's not as detailed as the other 2 that are here. So might use this one, as a matter of fact. Let's do that. Why not? We will have them both up next to each other. Okay, so these 2 maps for Buffalo are the ones that I use when I'm doing my compare contrast against where I go and how it looked back in the day. So we're going to be here, and let's see if we can find Kensington Water Tower here. Humboldt. Kensington and Grider is where it is. So that's Kensington. Let's not get too far into it yet. I can't believe I found it that fast. Didn't even try looking it up. So also, I'd like to show you this little clip of the Buffalo water intake, which you can see I have in view right here. So, you know what? Let's just actually do that right now. Get you guys in. We're going to watch this whole thing. Ready? Let's go. Hope I don't get strike. I don't care.
my name is Pete Merlo. Welcome to the Emerald Channel intake. The structure you see behind me is the intake, or the second intake, and the current intake for the city of Buffalo. All the fresh water supplied comes through that structure. The intake is a facility which takes in all the fresh water into the city of Buffalo. Comes through that structure. It's a 3-story structure. Actually, it was a manned facility back in the day. The reason for this is there was ice accumulation along the perimeter of the structure, and this had to be removed. And this occurred until probably the 50s when the ice boom was installed. You go in, it has a center well where all the fresh water comes into, settles, very quiescent. In fact, that location where the intake is now currently is called the Emerald Channel. The reason it is because of the clarity of the water. It's really an ideal location for an intake. The intake is now currently is called the Emerald Channel. The reason it is because of the clarity of the water. It's really an ideal location for an intake. The first step in the treatment process is really having an ideal raw water source. In fact, this is the second intake that was installed for the city of Buffalo. The first one was installed right below the Peace Bridge, and that served for about 20 years until there was a pollution epidemic, actually a typhoid epidemic that came down through the influence of surface water. Once this happened, the city of Buffalo realized it needed another location. And after surveying, looking at how the river flows and interacts between Lake Erie and Niagara, that location was chosen because it's the most quiescent area in the river, and it's an ideal source. So once you go out there, that location was chosen because it's the most quiescent area in the river, and it's an ideal source. River flows and interacts between Lake Erie and Niagara. That location was chosen because it's the most quiescent area in the river, and it's an ideal source. So once you go out there, it's actually called that Emerald Channel because the water has an emerald look to it. You can see that not only outside the facility, but also inside in that center well. Also in that facility, if you'll notice, there was as I said before, a boiler. You had 3 stories, you had locker facilities. This was truly a manned facility, and there was week shifts that individuals come out there, spend the week. When the ice boom was installed, this minimized or really prevented any ice accumulation on there. And really, you've seen the operation from that point forward as you see today. The facility has been restored. Actually, the last time it was upgraded was in the early to mid-90s. There was a $5 million project to update the roof, the center well, the railings.
Okay, there you go. A little bit of history on what this place is. So I think I'm gonna start from, we'll start from here. And then so this is the henge that is actually right, so that's Grand Island, and that henge is right down here. Now I try finding out, boom. Okay, so here we go. This is a good one. This is the 1880. All right. We're right in this little area here, I believe. So this is the harbor, and it is kind of, even back then, it is kind of shaped like a buffalo too, I guess you can see. I'm not sure if that was an aftermarket or who knows. Okay. So let's try to get the same angle. You see how you have that buffalo shape sort of a little bit? And you got these slips, okay? Call them slips, but they weren't slips back in the day. They were probably canals. Well, they were canals, obviously. Look. That's the Erie Canal right here. This little thin strip. This is the Erie Canal that goes here and continues along. This is why I like doing this. Okay, so here goes that star that we're at. We're probably, I believe, we're like right here. There goes quite. Okay, so we got a quite slip. Slip number. All right, so Let's follow that Erie Canal. See it? Now look, this one's a little. You can see how intricate stuff is, and where does the water end and streets begin. That's why I've posited before that there's look here, like this. Does this thing go underneath this building, or does it stop there? Question mark. Because then you look at this one, and this one has the water a little bit more blue, so you can see like what's going on there. I know that these are doctored, can be doctored. I get it. We can only work with what we got. But as with everything that's doctored or censored, there still is, I believe, some truth within it to be had. So, okay, where am I? Let's try to find out exactly where we're fishing, where this henge is. And I want to show you guys why I think this is so cool. And when I say important, I mean every city is important. Maybe Buffalo was the capital back before Washington, D.C. was. I mean, this is just really cool. That's why I wanted to share it with you guys. I mean, I don't have the best. So this is kind of weird too. Actually, yeah. Look at this. It's like off-centered, and that henge is to commemorate the fallen in the Irish potato famine. And you can look it up, and there's actually an engraving that we're going to see. But let's do a 2D and get right over top of it, and you could see. And it's like, why is it off-centered? And I remember I actually, in my Erie Basin Marina, I did read the history on it. So it does, I forget off the top of my head why, but it does explain why. And these are all the names of people that, perished. So let's see if we can find that engraving. There you go. Now, clearly it's a Bible verse, I believe. Luke. I'm not familiar with what language. If anybody can help out, I'd be most appreciative. Very cool. So, okay, let's try to find out. Zoom out. Bear with me. Okay, so I look for features, and I'm going to try to count these slips. 1, 2, 3. 3 prominent slips. You have the harbor here. You got the wall here. The old lighthouse is right there, allegedly, where it was. Some gravy there. I got pictures. We're going to see it. So I think where this henge is, I think that it is right here, right here. Or it's on this one, and let's see. It's kind of tough. Okay, boom, boom. You got these two right here. These 2 slips, this slip, this slip. This slip, that's it. That's got to be it. And then you got the point there. Okay, definitely. So, right, whatever this is a, looks like a wooden dock, or those are pilings or bulkheads. I believe a commenter said that they were. But we're gonna see what those are. So then you'd say, this is it right here. 1, 2. Now look at how far. Now, so this went all the way back in. So now that I believe that we found out where we were, we can say that, look at, this used to go back. This slip, there was like, I know that, like I've addressed before with my last one, I think, it's definitely known that the Erie Canal was backfilled to allow for the 190. So that type of geoengineering and stuff is obviously what happened here. It just fascinates me that people walk over and there's actually a building now there, but this went all the way back. So let's see what it does here. Yeah, see, blue, blue, blue. And then is that like a boat dock? I'm familiar with that. We have them, the one I go to all the time to gather my thoughts is the boat dock, or the boat dock at the foot of Sheridan. Right here. Right next to a water authority, of course, but that's the foot of Sheridan boat launch, so I'm familiar. Anyway, so we pinpointed where we were on the old maps, which is cool. So now let's continue along. I think we'll see that. Fishing on a Star Fort. And that's City Hall in the background. Beautiful city, guys. Beautiful area. Okay, now we're at Beaver Island. Sorry for that transition, but okay. So the place where we like to go, where we at? You got a lot of roundabouts here too. It's a beautiful area. A lot of roundabouts. This is the area that we like to fish in, and a lot of silt, a lot of runoff here. This is a pretty big current coming out of here. So the current's coming from this way, from right to left, where the Niagara River splits right here. Got Strawberry Island. I've addressed that in my last video. Pirate Island. So where we are right now, I'm taking pictures from this little nook right here. And side note, back in the day, when my parents' neighbor had a boat, and we did a lot of fishing on the river, a lot. Not only fishing, skiing, tubing, all that stuff. Also, diving for crawfish, if anybody's familiar with that. I wasn't so good at it, but my friend Jesse was very good at it. I got a couple. What you would do is you have to hold your breath, and right out here is like 5 feet deep. It's not too deep, but there is a little bit of a current. It's not as aggressive, the current, as this part. Okay, so that when it bends out like this, it kind of reduces the current a little bit. You got more of the swift one right here. You don't want to go swimming right here on this side up here. So what we would do is dive for crawfish down here, and you got to hold your breath, go under the water, and pull rocks really slowly, and they chill underneath the rocks. And if you grab them, soft shell crayfish, and if you can grab them, you're catching your bait, because the bass love the soft shell crabs for some reason, or the soft shell crayfish. For some reason, they can tell the difference between soft shell and hard shell, and you throw those things on a hook, and you'll be crushing bass for sure. So we used to do that. Very cool. So it's like from the southern tip of Buffalo up to Grand Island, and we're gonna see the setting sun. Oh, also I want to, you know what? This will be a cool. If you're not familiar with this channel and Dave Weiss of Deep in the Rabbit Hole, I highly recommend going to check him out. I'm going to be a guest on this show this coming Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm humbled that Dave and his team reached out to me, my man, and graciously I accepted, and I'm again humbled and honored to be on DITRH with Dave. So go check him out, sub to him. If you like it, give him a like, and I will be on there Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check him out. Dave Weiss crushes. That said, sorry I keep pausing it. Got a frog in my throat. So we fish here. We're there. Like I'm probably taking a picture from like right here looking outwards. And when you're looking outwards and you see this, that land, that's Canada. That's Canada. I love my Canadian friends. Another little tidbit here. This is probably the most beautiful ride in all the realm. And yeah, I said it. You go over the Peace Bridge here and you hit the water on this little path and you can cruise. It's a beautiful, scenic little way. You might not think so, but all the way up to the falls. Boom. Clifton Hill. It's beautiful. John Fogerty was right when he said from Rock and Roll Girls, he'd like to shuffle off to Buffalo, sit by the lake, and soak in the sun. My man. That dude got it. Don't fall, Uncle Fester. Nice, Ollie. I still haven't caught a fish yet this year. I can't believe it. And my buddies are definitely busting my chops about it. So it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Ollie's on the board for a lot. I caught that one. Actually, I can say that I am on the board. That's literally the only fish that I caught this year. There you go. We're right along here. I didn't realize I took this many. And as Dave would say, and I agree with, it's not setting around a curve, it's moving away. And we're going to go over that. For sure we are. Anyway. So yeah, catching crayfish. Also, they plant plants around here, like aquatic stuff, and like cordon it off. They also do it on Unity Island, Old Squaw Island. You can actually see it. They do it out in the river. Also, La Luna. There you go. Yeah, we have a lot of ash trees around here that are dying because of this thing, allegedly. Oh yeah, I wanted to save this for Dave. All allegedly. Could it be? How about this?
They have been going on for over 20 minutes. Okay, I hope you guys can hear these explosions in the background. They have been going on for over 20 minutes. They're making the entire ground shake from my location where I live. That way is Niagara Falls. And I would say that it's the fireworks, but I have been living in Niagara Falls for 15 years, right beside the falls, and I am telling you that is not what fireworks sound like. It has been shaking the entire house. It's shaking the ground. We had windows shaking earlier. We had 4 army-style planes flying in the sky within the time that this has happened.
I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there we go. Found it. Okay. Now let's find the Kensington Water Tower. I've done it before. I did the history on it. It's in my video playlist, history. Firing from the hip. Where is it? Okay. Look for this. This is interesting too. You know what? All right, we found the water tower before. Might be a little bit more difficult on this one. Spy Humboldt. I'm probably not going to be able to find it that quick again. But it wasn't there in any way. It's not the point. I did it before. I want to show you guys this. Walk around. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm realizing for the first time that I'm looking at the face of that flashlight, and my daughter had scribbled a marker on it. Of course. Michael Myers breathing. Oh boy. Again, I've done this before. This is the Kensington Water Tower, and it's all part of the, I believe, the old waterworks system and old water tunnels, I believe, that are still underneath. Also, side note, I was playing. Might as well mention this. I forgot to make a clip of it, but I'm playing Assassin's Creed right now. When I get the time, obviously I'm with my family most of the time, but when I do have some extra, I do like to play. I'm a gamer. The Egyptian one, Assassin's Creed, I forget what it is. I don't know if it's Origins or not, but I have to get down into the tunnels in Egypt, and in order to, I got to climb one of these towers, and you get to the top of it, and then you go down in, and I'm like, huh, kind of reminds me of the Kensington Water Tower, you know. I'm just saying. I'm not putting any claims out there like that's what it is, but when I went over this before, check out what you see in here. And it's supposed to be constructed at one time. So just keep that in mind. Initially, I thought that they blocked up or like spackled over like you just seen repair work of the place that I seen originally, where I was looking into it, and I'm like, no way. So I keep walking around. I initially walked past it. We're gonna get to it. I found this to be interesting. I just noticed, and I'm like, oh, there it is. I forgot where it was on the actual building, this little crack. And as I was walking around and I seen the repair work, I'm like, they must have repaired it. But I initially walked past it while I was looking at the flashlight initially. So I went and I've videotaped this before in the actual, I forget which one it is. We'll check it. We'll check it out in a minute. Looks like there's old brick that's inside that's crumbling and falling apart. That's all I can say. I can tell you that it was said to be built once, not like a double construction. So like I think of the basilica, when I found there's construction photos of the basilica being built, and they say that they built it alongside red brick. But then I also found pictures of a red brick building that was in that very location prior. So I don't understand what's going on here. I'm just confused, and I don't know what I see. It looks like we see former brick buildings that are covered over, but then when they're covered over, that's called the construction. In some buildings, at least the basilica, in Lackawanna. I think that I pretty much hammered that home when I did that video, but it's just all my opinion. So back at the marina, this is pretty cool. Check this out. There you go, Lackawanna. So the basilica is right on the border of Lackawanna and Buffalo, right on the border. From Buffalo to Oswego. Actually, we went camping here, wife and I and my little baby girl, in Little Sodus Bay a couple years back. I pulled out a big old bowfin. I should have had that picture ready out of that bay right there, Little Sodus Bay. I'll show the picture when I can find it. Legend. Oswego. Legend. There you go. That's the lighthouse that I was telling you about. Hey, babe, it's beautiful, huh? This is amazing. Did you see that water, Kylie? So pretty. Nothing beats that, I'll tell you what. Everything else, eh. Absolutely gorgeous. Bounce back. Sorry we're going back and forth, but we're right along here. There you go. Must be off season. You see how you got these, I guess, bulkheads? And the lighthouse is right there. Careful, little bear. Huh. Beautiful, beautiful place. And then you got the henge. There goes the intake. We did a review of that. That's looking back towards the old, that's the H.G. Ward pumping station. I've done that. Little panoramic for you. Pretty sure that's ECC City Campus. Went there for college till I dropped out. It's the old post office, ECC City Campus. I'll do that place too. So right now we're like right here. Taking a picture along this wall right there. There you go. Oh, that's cool. Lighthouse. Got the intake out there. Got the rock wall. Back to Beaver Island. Where we at? 2D. North to south. Beaver. Fishing at Beaver. 3D. Gotta punch in for work soon. Gotta get this going. Same spot. I like to show these because I'll probably bring this up to Dave on our chat on Monday. So lay it out there. Just keep in mind and take note that how these rays are coming out and they fan out, okay? Very interesting. Birds. That's weird. There you go. This was neat because the sun was actually coming from the top down out of these clouds. I mean, you know, I don't want to mince words here, but it was dark and then it started coming light again because it was moving past these clouds. It's really cool. What I noticed too is like I don't know if I got it on film, but the glare from on the water, it started out as a nub across and then it kind of stretched out towards me because the nature of the way that the sun was going away past these clouds. Very, very cool. Fitting too that I got this footage before I had that interview with Dave. Again, deep in the rabbit hole. Go check them out. I'll be there Monday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Yes, sir. Fishing. So that was the sunset, and then we had, not sure if you can see, La Luna in the sky also. So from the southern tip of Buffalo at the old Star Fort, again, it never looks like it was beautiful. It was big, huge, like, you know, visible, and you can never capture it, even though this is a cell phone picture taker. I understand, but it just never seems to come through as you see it in real life. And we can talk about that with Dave, you know, on the DITRH. DITRH. Again, this is okay. So where I am here, crushing, is right in here. This area right here, okay? And this was yesterday. I went fishing there yesterday. Still haven't caught a fish. Unreal. Right there, I am standing on that rock right here. Okay, see that? Boom. I'm liking that little cut back there. Panoramic, pretty cool. Tom Sawyer-esque, Huck Finn-esque. Beautiful. Lily pads. When I was walking down here, this is this little peninsula, if you will, right here. I'm on this little thing. There you go. And this is a bird feeder right here. At first, I'm like, are those cameras, really? Because a lot of people come here for bird watching. In the Niagara River, there's a lot of birds, and we're about to see that right now. And that's how I'll tail this off. So that's a bird feeder. And you can see some, not only, well, birds, but wildlife, I guess, if you will. So here we go. See that, them ripples? I just heard a fish jump. I'm like, oh, jumping all over, but they ain't jumping towards my line. Eventually. These things are real cool. So you are here, right screen. Flora and fauna. And those are the birds. Check it out. I'm always partial to, I love birds. I love birds of prey for the birds. Little Beaver Island Marsh is a small but important piece of the realm important Niagara River bird area. Each year, dozens of species migrate, feed, and nest along the river at this and other locations such as East River Marsh, Motor Island, and Strawberry Island. Habitat improvement efforts undertaken by the New York Power Authority and the New York State Parks, in conjunction with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, are helping to recreate habitat for dozens of bird species. The wetland and surrounding area is home to songbirds, like golden-crowned kinglets and Baltimore orioles, as well as wetland birds such as belted kingfishers, tundra swans, and great blue herons. The platform in the middle of the wetland is intended for osprey to perch and nest on. And they definitely do. Baltimore reminds me of Scarface. I think that's where Avira is from. Bald eagle, osprey, red-tailed hawk. What do they have in common as opposed to all these other ones? The eagle, osprey, red-tailed hawk are raptors, birds of prey. And I'm always more partial to the raptors, especially the bald eagle. They're all beautiful. There you go. And this is right here. people can put their canoes in and paddle through. Now there is a current that comes out of here because obviously it's going through river. Remember, the current's coming from left to right now. So this is moving, and this is where we are, right here, this little canoe launch. That'll be a good way to end it out. You know, the sounds are pretty cool too. I was just realizing that. So there you go. That was a little bit of a romp through Buffalo for you from the Fort Porter, which is what I think that old Star Fort was probably called. Well, that's the falls. From Fort Porter to Beaver Island, and the old Stonehenge at the Erie Basin Marina, up to Grand Island. I can get anywhere pretty much in 10 minutes, guys. This is my stomping ground, and I grew up here, and I love it here, and I'm going to get you the history of it here. So if nothing else, I hope you enjoy it. Please like, share, subscribe. Come over to my homie, DITRH. We're going to be having a talk this coming Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give him a like, give him a share, give him a subscribe, and come over to my channel as well. Let's go check that. My channel, video playlist, Kensington Water Tower I did. I've had chats with Autodidactic and Michelle Gibson. Love you guys. Yeah, there goes the Colonel Ward pumping station, like I said that I did. And there goes number 8 and number 14 are the two related from the past that I did. So thank you very much for all of your support and your love. And right back at you. Berserker Bear will report back. Take care.